everyone, and welcome to the GSL Code A, Kartosis and Wolf. This is the last day of Code A, Wolf, and then we've got our full Code S roster.
We do indeed. We're going to have everything solved. You know, the puzzle pieces will be all put together here. And we got some really interesting groups today. Yeah. Two of our teamless IM players will be playing. And we've got Byung playing a little bit later as well.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super stoked to see Byung play today. He's just obviously been killing it in Pro League. He's one of these Terrans that has just been godly, but he hasn't done it quite yet in Code S, other than qualifying for it, which is more than we can say for most Terrans.
Exactly. He's been one of very few Terrans in Code S, you know, kind of repeatedly. And I think if he weren't in Code S this time, it'd be a little bit weird, just because he's kind of one of those Terrans that's always there, always making it through. Let's take a look at our groups today. Or actually, before that, rather take a look at who's qualified so far.
And look at that. I'm so happy that Reality made it in. Just 2 days ago when we were casting, I was talking to you about how much I really do like Reality's play.
Yeah.
And it was great to see him make it through. Of course, that Terran lineup is getting better and better. We could definitely add some more today as well.
Yeah, we definitely could, man.
And I think actually there's a good chance. I think Byung is going to get through his group, so hopefully he's added to that. But let's take a look. I mean, that's a lot of Protosses, man, still.
Yeah, still a lot of Protosses. I was talking about this with Tasteless yesterday. Yesterday, Protosses in Code S, a lot of Protosses are going to fall down to Code A, so there's a lot more chances for them to get back in. Only 3 Protosses were left, Classic, Paralyze, and Zest, so a lot of them advancing from Code A to S. And then we got some really good Zergs, and we got Rogue and Effort, so
that's amazing. 2 of my absolute favorite Zergs. I think no one can actually argue the skills of Rogue for sure.
Yeah. It's absolutely true. Well, 2 Terrans in this group, more Terrans than we normally see in a group in the GSL these days. Trap and Alive, the first match, and then Byung will face off against Roro. So a pretty tough matchup actually here for these 2 Terrans, but I think Byung is favored to get out still. Yeah,
I think he'll get out, man. Like, I can't imagine these guys, like him losing twice to these guys. Alive coming back, that's actually a huge surprise to me. He was off the radar for a very long time.
Yeah.
Used to be one of our top Terrans in the world, really. But, you know, since I haven't seen him play that much lately, I'm feeling like this group just outdoes him, man. All 3 of these guys are guys that we see regularly. Yeah. So I'm a bit nervous for him.
Yeah, I am as well. I don't know if he's got what it takes to beat Trap, even though Trap has recently left IM and is currently teamless. It's pretty recent.
Poor guy. This keeps happening with him.
Yeah, it does. I'm sure I'll find a new home pretty soon. He's obviously a very talented player, but, you know, a newly teamless player is always looking to get into Code S to prove himself for any up-and-coming teams. So, really important for him to get in there if he can.
Quick judgment call before we jump in this first game. Who are the 2 players that get out in your opinion in this group?
Trap and Byung. I don't think Roro's getting out.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I was thinking more Byung and Roro, personally.
Well, when we get in the game, I'll explain why. Artosis, Trap versus Alive, game number 1. One of our last 2 groups here of the GSL Code A.
In the top right of Merry-Go-Round, our poor teamless Protoss player, he is
Trap.
Really strong Protoss, man. It's sad to see every team he goes on just disbands.
Yeah.
He's like a cursed monkey's paw, as Tasteless would say.
And down here, the 6 o'clock.
MVP Alive.
He's seen a lot of teams as well.
Yeah, good to see him back. You were looking it up before the show. Who did he beat to get in?
A Protoss player called Yuri, who is probably just like a High Masters player or something who was at the Code A Qualifiers. And they ended up losing to Marine King, and then playing Marine King again and beating him. And I think in the first round he got a bye. So he got a bye, beat some guy named Yuri, lost to Marine King, and then beat Marine King in a rematch to stop Marine King from getting into Code A.
Well, Marine King fans are going to be sad. But Alive's back. So, I mean, it's nice to see him give it a try again.
Well, going back to Roro.
Yeah, please.
I feel like Roro has a tough time here because he's playing against players like Trap, obviously, and Byung. And unfortunately for Roro, it's so funny. His best matchup by far is Zerg versus Protoss, and he's in the group that has 2 Terrans.
Yes.
That's kind of a bit ironic. Will Alive end up beating him? Probably not, but I feel like it's tough to say if he's going to have to face Byung, and then maybe, you know, does he have to face Byung again if he ends up losing there? You know, what's going to happen? Say Byung goes to the winner's match with Trap, and then Trap beats Byung, and then Byung has to face Roro, who then beats Alive, and then he has to face him twice possibly, and that would be really tough for him, I think.
Yeah, okay, so my point of view here on Roro, is I look at it and I think the final match should be Trap versus Roro. And in a best of 3, I definitely give the edge to Roro. I think he's a better player. But even if it's Byung he has to play in that final match, even if he loses in the first match to him, like if you give Roro 2 best of 3s against Byung, I give him a pretty decent chance of actually taking one down. I mean, Byung is amazing and awesome, but Roro has been like just a godly Zerg for so long now. So
he certainly has, especially against Protoss. If he ends up facing Trap in the winner's match,
especially on King Sejong Station.
Yeah. I mean, if you give him that, man, he's going to be in a great place. It looked for a moment like we might have a proxy at the left of Alive's base, but he's decided not to.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just waiting for the Reaper to go by before he's scouting. Maybe that was the plan there.
Yeah, that was pretty far away to send it, though, right? Like, if you just have him just the left of that third base, I think that that's far enough. So maybe he was thinking about that, but with only 1 gas, what are you even going to proxy? It's hard to say.
Yeah. I thought he was just going to leave it there for a long time and then eventually get something up, but...
That's a fantastic scout, by the way.
Yeah, he sees the eBay,
like,
everything.
In fact, I got to, like, steal that scout timing. That's so good. Like, to be able to just pop in there and be like, all right, 3 on gas, reactor, eBay. Okay, I know how everything's going to look for the next several minutes.
Yeah.
Really nicely done on that scout. The
Reaper was hidden here as well. Very nicely done there. Sees the second gas timing. And this probe is overstaying a little bit.
Yeah. I'm actually really surprised he kept it there that long. Like, what? Are you going to kill the SCV? I mean, you know how long a reactor takes and how long it takes for Marines to pop out. Come on.
That was a bit surprising.
Yeah.
Maybe a misclick. I mean, I doubt it, but...
All right, so we actually have a Twilight coming up.
Yeah.
And we've definitely seen some Twilight builds kind of regaining some popularity. I feel like a little bit after that nerf to Blink, it did go down in popularity a little bit, but I feel like we're seeing a lot of it again.
Yeah, it's coming back a little bit. It's still very viable, I feel.
Yeah, it's certainly
as a pressure, not an
viable.
all-in, you know, and necessarily, but just as a pressure. He gets scouted, which is really scary for Alive, because now he has to react.
Yeah, but he also scouts a Forge. Kind of interesting to be able to scout both those. Good Reaper. Definitely a very good Reaper.
Because he's going Blink first here, do you think he'll also get +1 attack rather than +1 armor?
Yeah, I would say so. No, I guess not. But we were talking about that the other day because we did see a Protoss doing that. And
yeah.
Definitely if you're planning on making a lot of Blink Stalkers is a good choice. But, I mean, if he's going to stop at, like, 5 or 6, maximum 8, then I guess it's okay to go just armor. But if he's going to, like, really make a lot of Blink Stalkers, obviously attack would be a bit better.
Yeah. Well, let's see what he decides to do next. He's going up to 3 gates, which is normally how many we see when we see this pressure. And he's just showing the Stalkers up here at the front a little bit, and might do 1 warp in and make a pylon just to keep Alive scared, maybe make some bunkers.
Yeah, I think you gotta, when you're going for Blink, make a decent amount of Stalkers to make them scared, like keep them back and whatnot. Oh!
That was a good pull away there.
Yep. Good thing that there's no concussive shells.
Remember when that was automatically researched to Marauders?
Yeah. I remember it very, very well.
Remember in every game you played, and you were proxying a Protoss? And
yeah, it was very annoying. Didn't like it. Well, he's going right into a Robo. He is going to have his 2 gates finished. Probably do that warp in of 3 Stalkers, I would imagine. Like 7 Stalkers I think is fine, as we were talking about before. You know, you can kind of contain the Terran for a little bit, maybe put on a little bit of pressure, but I don't expect a lot of damage to be done.
Yeah, it's just very threatening, and it's a little bit scary. He actually didn't show Blink there. No way he's going to actually blink in.
No.
He's just going to pick off this depot.
Yeah, and I mean, this is nice. He's doing what he needs to do. I like that Alive has not overreacted this. He's like, I scouted it. I don't think you're actually going to all-in me from there. And, like, where are his bunkers?
Exactly.
He did do a blink all, and it may have worked. Who knows?
Yeah, but I feel like if you're Alive, you're like, are you really going to actually commit to it if that's what you're thinking about doing after I saw it so blatantly?
Yeah, yeah.
That would be weird.
Well, and you saw the Forge, too, so it's like, well, this isn't going to be 4 gates at least.
Yeah.
What a trick that would have been. Now, War Prism on the way, Colossus Tech as well.
He could actually force these units out with these sentries and then blink in the main.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's a really good point. That may be what he's going for. The other thing that I was thinking of is the game Parting played in Pro League the other day. That was really well done on Frost, I believe it was, where the blink harass to the front as he tried to push out, drop those zealots in the main. That was like such a strong move.
Yeah, it's very, very strong. It's really scary. But yeah, it looks more like that. There's the
looks
Zealots.
like it is that one. I kind of like the force field idea. I love using strategies from one matchup in another. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Does work sometimes, you know, when you're keeping the Terran very occupied at the natural. Medevacs are out, though. Let's see. I mean, no matter what, when a Terran moves out and you drop Zealots in the base, as long as you're careful with them, you will do some damage. You're going to make it worth it.
For sure, you're right about that. It does throw up a pylon over here, but it gets scouted right away, so I guess that can be a little bit annoying. That's not going to work out. This Zealot drop, though, definitely has some potential. I don't think the attack here with the full Mothership Core and Forest Fields and Blink Stalker is going to do anything.
No, I don't think so. Let's see how much damage it gets done here. The units are stimming on their way back to that concern here. And one Zealot will go down. The SCV is being pulled, loses some mining time there.
Just forcing a stim and run back makes this really effective. Plus killing an SCV or two and a missile turret, and I mean, that was actually a very good drop.
Yeah, and it basically the forcing that stim and run back really conserves his Mothership Core energy because he doesn't have to use a Nexus Cannon to hold there.
You know, we haven't seen as many builds like this lately getting, well, I guess just very lately we've seen more, but kind of fell out of popularity a little bit, just getting such a quick Warp Prism. But as you can see, like, he just controlled the entire game up to this point. The entire game was dictated by Trap. Like, Alive has had no say about what has gone on here, and it's a great move.
Definitely true. Alive is getting some Vikings out here, is adding +2 for the attack. Pretty quick here. Looks like his command center will finish before this harass occurs, so it's not like he can delay that. It's already being made into an orbital, and that Viking count here is going to keep this Warp Prism off his back. I don't think he'll kill it, but... Oh, well, the Marines say they will.
Indeed. And, you know, even though he lost that, wow. Well,
he should still corner it and kill it,
He
right?
should be able to, yeah.
He sends the Vikings in 2 directions. He's going to be able to find it, I think.
Well, killing off that Warp Prism is nice, I guess. But still, I feel like that Warp Prism was worth it. And the thing is, it had the potential to do a whole hell of a lot more than it did.
How is he Oh, the Marine goes the wrong way.
Wow. Warp Prisms are pretty fast.
I guess... I don't know. I Wolfstradamus that one. I was like, I guess the Warp Prism will escape, and then it's like no matter what happens, the Warp Prism will now escape.
Yeah. All right. Well, taking a third base right now. The command center is floating down for Alive as well. I do have to say I like the position here for Trap a bit more. The way he's dictated the game, he's got his 2-2 coming at a very reasonable timing. He's already got his blink and his charge, which is really nice.
This is just going to be a timing from Alive with these 2 barracks coming up. He's going to make like 5 Marauders at a time and pull SCVs.
You know, I think SCV pulls are really good on this map. I like some of the plays that I've seen in the past, and yeah, I mean, going up to 7, he needs another starport though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like it with 1 starport. I guess you could do it just much more bio heavy. There have been moves like that in the past, like especially from players like Maru, where you're just like, well, I have so much bio that I don't need as many tech units.
If he makes 2 tech labs here on those barracks, he can have a ton of Marauders. Let's see if that's what he ends up doing here.
It's a very good point. Let's see. Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited now to see what he does with that. It looks like he's just making Marines out of them right now, right?
Yeah, and +1 for vehicle weapons almost indicates he's just definitely going to be trying to play for a little bit longer of a game here.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I think that's okay. You know, even though we haven't seen Alive for a long time, I feel like I'm maybe underestimating him because I really haven't seen him hardly at all for so long.
Yeah.
That I'm like, well, I mean, he must suck now, right? But the thing is, he was so ridiculously good back when he was playing.
Yeah.
Rather, back when he was qualifying for everything.
Yeah, well, when he was, before he joined EG, even when he was on Fnatic, he was doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah. Well, back even in TSL, he was considered, like, their best player, their ace.
That's true, actually. There goes that Warp Prism without, or rather the Mothership Core without doing a whole lot. This is a lot of Marauders here, but the Colossus count is just too high, I feel, with good force fields going down, and these upgrades, the 2-2, just way too much here for Alive's army. He's going to get totally crushed here. I'm not sure why he committed to this attack.
Yeah, the funny part is, I guess, if the Stalkers hadn't just completely wrecked those Vikings so quickly, that attack could have gone a lot better, but he got like perfect force fields. He sniped the Vikings as quickly as humanly possible. He even had an Immortal for that really Marauder-heavy army, so...
It's just as strange to me because he had all these additional production facilities powered up. He had +1 on the way for his Vikings. Almost like he was geared up for a later attack or some sort of other late game. It was almost like he got like really trigger happy when he killed the Mothership Core, and he was like, maybe with no time warps I can beat this or something. But I don't know, man. It just didn't work out.
No, and he's dead now.
Yeah, he's
zero
totally
way
dead.
to hold this. 4
Also,
bosses.
2 Zealots killed his whole third base mineral line without any sort of reaction there.
Yeah, kind of a sad game, to be perfectly honest here. I was hoping for a little bit better from Alive, but I guess, you know, when I was saying maybe I'm underestimating him, maybe I was kind of spot on with that. Like, that was not his finest moment in that game.
No, definitely wasn't. I mean, he just, I don't know, he just threw the game away by attacking into a poor engagement. I mean,
yeah,
he was definitely behind, I would argue, Trap, but like, he didn't have to attack like that. It didn't line up with anything he was working on building in the game.
Yeah. Like, I think there was a lot of ways he could have done better this game. Like, to do it, the thing is, he had just finished Barracks 6 and 7. He had just landed his third base and started mining from it. Hadn't gotten his +1 air attack, as you were saying. Hadn't gotten his second star report. Like, it was like an anti-timing, to be perfectly honest. He didn't even wait long enough for the extra 2 racks to really make a difference. Like, what did he have? 4 extra Marines?
Yeah. He added while he was moving out, he added 1 tech up and 1 reactor. But like, yeah, he added like 2 extra Marines before that. And
yeah,
then
so
moved out.
It was truly like an anti-timing. He must have looked at the battle and just decided he could do it, but he absolutely
yeah, like
could
once
not.
he killed the Mothership Core, I think that's when he was like, maybe this is my moment.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, it definitely wasn't his moment.
It definitely was not.
I mean, this is a really smart kid. He's a champion. He won IPL. He killed it in team leagues. He did very well.
He's a GSL finalist from Season 3. But no, I'm thinking of Rain. I'm sorry, his teammate.
Rain.
I'm like, no.
Yeah, like, whoa, I must have slept in on that finals. He's definitely hit round of 8 before, for sure. Maybe even a round of 4. I can't quite remember because he's been around forever.
Yeah,
so
he has.
Well, let's see. I mean, that wasn't his best game, but maybe he can do better on this next map, Catalina. The thing is, Merry-Go-Round I really like for TVP. Like, if you're going to not kill him on Merry-Go-Round, what are you going to kill him on exactly?
Yeah, I don't know, man. We're going to have to find out here. Can Trap take it 2-0 or is Alive going to bring it back? Let's find out.